Welcome back and thanks for joining us. If you're new to our channel, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified of each new video. In the last video, we completed the floor by gluing down the vinyl sheeting. It was amazing to see the floor finally come together. In this video, we're emulating Gaetan's aluminum angle bed frame. This will create a light and inexpensive bed frame that can be customized to our specific needs. If you haven't seen Gaetan's van tour, we're going to leave the link in the description below.
We're back at the shop. On the last episode we finished the floors, and today we're going to start a new project.
Hey guys, this is Dory, and I'm Mena. We travel with our lovely dog Fiona to help you discover the most beautiful spots and to share with you what it's like to live as a nomad. So subscribe and welcome to our channel.
We went yesterday to Acier Picard and we purchased some aluminum. So we're going to be playing with that today. Our goal is to make furniture with that. A couple of months ago, we made a video about a Ford Transit. The layout was really nice. And we decided to base our layout around that build. We really loved it, how simple it was, where the bathroom was located, and the way he built his furniture. So he used aluminum and rivets. So we're following his footsteps. The thing is, there's zero information online, right? So we don't have any videos about this, so we're improvising.
Here are the materials and tools that we used. The aluminum angle and aluminum tubes were 1/8 of an inch in thickness and 20-foot lengths. The tubes were 1 inch by 1 inch and the angles were 1.5 inches. Although you could use a circular saw with an aluminum blade, we found that the cuts were imprecise. We then ground down the ends with an angle grinder. If you have access to one, a miter saw will make quick, precise cuts. The rivets we used to connect everything together were 3/16 of an inch, and the grip range was 1/2 inch. We used about 100 for the two beds. Having a level and carpenter square on hand helped us ensure everything was level and perpendicular in places where we weren't sure. And last but not least, we used a drill to create the holes in the aluminum.
And we're going to be using aluminum angle and aluminum tubes, no welding. We're going to rivet everything all together. Most people are using aluminum 80-20, but it's too expensive. Might be easy to work with, but it could be done with this. After cutting a few furring strips, these ones are 3/8. They won't be all the same size. They are 4 inches wide, and we're gauging where we're going to put the furring strips according to our furniture. And they're going to attach directly to the van on the cross nuts. And we're putting these anchor bolts, right? And then we take the furring strip, we put it against it. So we get a nice mark on the furring strip. Then we make a little hole, and yeah, we keep going. So you see, we mark them like that. So initially, the mark is going to be on this side because that's how we mark it. But the part that we're going to attach is going to be on the opposite side. So we use the drill to make a little point that goes through, so I know exactly where they're going to be on the opposite side. And I'm using this bit, which is that size, so 1/2 inch, I guess. Anyway, it gives me this nice groove, and these are the bolts we're going to use to attach the furring strip to the van. So it should fit nice and flush. So I hope this makes sense. because it makes sense to me. Bon appetit!
I'm a little unsteady, I'm a bit unsure when life gets too heavy for me anymore. But I'll get it right. If I let my guard down, if I give it up, will I ever know if I did enough? But I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna get it right. Give me something I can believe in, 'cause sometimes I get to dreaming about all the things that I wanna do.
One thing I want to mention is that when you're attaching the cross nuts to the van, not all of them gonna come out perfect. Some of them will be a little crooked. This will make your job a little bit harder when you're attaching the furring strips to the van. So my suggestion is, when you're attaching them, don't screw them all the way down right away. So if you have 3 bolts that you need to attach to the van, attach the first one. As soon as you notice it's making contact, move on to the second one and to the third one, and slowly tie up everything together. This will make your job much easier, but a little bit longer. So really happy with the furring strips, how they turned out so far. This is 3/8 of an inch by 4 inches, and they're sturdy. V, you approve? Got the seal of a doggy, approve? Paw approve? Time to start playing with the aluminum. When you purchase the aluminum from Acier Picard, they all are 20 feet. And they could have them cut in 2 pieces or 3 pieces. The size of the tubes were 1 inch and 1/8 of an inch thickness. The L bars were 1.5 inches.
Give me something I can believe in.
Slowly, it's starting to take shape. I mean, it's the first time we're doing this, and we haven't seen any tutorials on YouTube. So we're just modeling our idea based on the last camper we toured, which was Gaetan. Anyway, we'll put a link to the description underneath this video so you guys could see a little bit of the finished product with the cushions and everything, how it's going to look like.
To give you a little idea of the measurements on the passenger side, so Dory's bench/bed is 80 inches long. Mine, on my side, is only going to be 74 inches long. When we went to Acier Picard, that's where we picked up the aluminum, they cut the pieces of aluminum for us, and it was 3 equal pieces of 80 inches, so we didn't need to cut that one at all. This one, however, we are going to cut it, so we measured 74 inches. And in terms of the height of the benches, a standard guideline is about 17 to 19 inches. So we're putting it right in the middle there at 18 inches, plus we figure there's going to be about 3 inches of mattress or foam that we're going to be sitting on. So we want to make the second one right away so that we could see, if we put a level across, it should be level. And also, we want to make sure that the corridor is wide enough, because right now I've made the beds a little bit bigger and the corridor a little bit narrower, but because the corridor is a little narrow, I'm not sure we're going to be able to pass each other in the corridor. So like someone will have to be sitting down if the other one is passing. So I'm not sure if that's going to be ideal. And We don't know yet which is better, to have a cozier bed or more space in the corridor, but we'll kind of try and make a decision, not having lived in the space. So, worth mentioning, it's a good idea to tour some of these camper vans, especially in the layouts that you like, to kind of have an idea of these kinds of things, of how wide the bed should be, how wide the corridor should be. So we took our plan from existing, I think it's called the Travato. So this is an existing layout in camper vans. However, there wasn't really a measurement for the corridor. So I'm kind of winging it a little bit. Anyway, let's get started and let's get cutting. So we're securing the aluminum. So this one we need to cut because I need a frame that is 74 inches long for my bed.
I've been having some difficulties cutting nice straight lines on aluminum just because I don't have the proper tools. So I started with the circular saw. It does do a straight cut, but it's really hard if you don't have a guide. So anyway, on the L bar, I did leave like 1/8 of an inch. So with the grinder, it was really easy to go and trim that unwanted part. Well, ideally, from what I've been seeing online, you need a miter saw, but we just spent like $50 on aluminum blades for the circular saw. And yeah, I didn't want to go buy another blade for the miter saw. So, you know, it worked out at the end.
We're marking the equal distance. So 74 inches divided by 5 is equal to 14.8. So around there, it doesn't have to be exact, but so we have so it's kind of equal distances from each other. And then we put the tubes straight up there, and then we mark where we're going to put the rivets. So I made the mistake last time of putting 2 rivets too close together, so I'm making sure to leave enough space so that they don't overlap.
After marking it, I punch a little hole, a little mark on it for 2 reasons. Because this, I mean, it's so easy to erase. And second, when there's like a little hole in it, my drill bit doesn't slide.
Yeah, somebody once told me that dreams are dreams unless you take them and turn them into things. So I'm gonna get it right. Yeah, I'm gonna get it right. Give me something I can believe in, 'cause sometimes I get to dreaming.
Okay, so now that the holes are drilled in the aluminum angle, what we've done is we've aligned the aluminum tube, and then we put the level beside it. Make sure it's level, and then we mark inside the holes in the center so that we know where to drill our holes for the rivets. And we mark which number. So 1 goes over here, and 2 and 3 and so on and so forth, so that it will align properly, and each tube, we know where each tube goes. You see I've marked it here. Now we're going to drill holes in there, and if we need to widen them, we'll do that, but it's only going to be after when we put it together. So you'll see that as we put it together, but for now we're going to go drill our holes in our aluminum tube.
All the things that I wanna do, but then it goes like la 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 la. Oh, I got something to show ya. La 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 la. Oh, I got something that'll blow your mind. Won't believe your eyes. That's right, and it goes like la 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 la.
Bring that back, bring that back.
And it goes like la 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 la. La 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 la.
So now the trick is going to be to make this align completely with this side so that we can have the exact same mirror image on the other side, except for this side will be 74 inches long instead of 80 inches long. So we're gonna try that now. So now that we've drilled the holes in the top aluminum angle, and we already measured it, so it's 18 inches, which we're quite happy about. So you see we've created the holes. So now I'm just going in the center and creating like a little guide mark as close to the center as I possibly can get, but we can adjust for that later with the drill. So I'm going to do that all the way down the line, and then we're going to drill the holes in the aluminum tube. One thing I did not check was if it was level, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, and we're good. Beauty.
Bring that back, bring that back.
And it goes like la 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 Give me something I can believe in. 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 La 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 la.
So now that we have the two pieces that are going to be in the corridor, and we've kind of figured out how to do that and make it the right height, now what we're doing is we're figuring out what width of corridor we need. So we spoke with Gaetan already, and he told us it was about 20 inches and a half, yeah? Something like that? So we wanted to have a little bit more space for the beds in case we wanted to keep the beds as is to sleep, so we have a little bit of room, but also so we have more storage space. So we are going to have a corridor of 18 inches and 3/4, and we're hoping that that's going to be enough. Even if it isn't, we'll just have to live with it at a certain point. So today what we're doing is we are cutting the tubes that are going to go across, and those are kind of going to be the slats for the bed, for the plywood that goes on top of the bed or bench, if you want to call it a bench. Also, we're cutting the aluminum angle piece that's going along the wall, and see if we, and also the sides, so the sides of the frame. So that's what we're doing today, and we figured that the bed is going to be 25 inches from the wall. The corridor is going to be 18 3/4 inches. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to cut the tubes into 25 1/4 inches, because we figure it's going to be a little bit less than 25 inches, but just to be safe, we're going to cut it a little bit longer, and then put the angle, just hold up the angle against the van wall, put up the tubes, and just make sure that it's going to work practically. So we've kind of figured it out theoretically based on the dimensions, but we want to see it actually, you know, supporting the bed. Like, is it going to work? That's what we want to figure out. So right now we're going to cut down the tubes, and the angle, since it's 80 inches, it's already the right height for the passenger side of the bed. So let's get started. So this is going to be 18 3/4. Okay, that's going to be enough for us to slide by each other, have guests over that are not going to knock knees. Also, it's going to give us a lot of space under the bed for storage. Now, this is how Gaetan had it set up, and it's kind of ingenious, to be honest. Okay, so he has this attached like this on the wall. Thank you for that. We already calculated this, and it is, the bed area is 25 inches. Okay, just lower that on your side a little bit. Okay, so we initially calculated that this bar across should be 24 3/4, because, well, I thought actually that it was going to rest up against this L bar, but it isn't. It's going directly up against the wall, which is fine because the measurements ended up working out by accident, which is perfect. So this tube here is 24 3/4 inches, and it actually fits perfectly for our 25-inch width bed. So that works out. So now we're going to cut the rest of these tubes. Once the L-bar is attached here, he also attached another L-bar here, and that keeps all of these tubes secure and in place, right? So we're not going to do this part yet, okay? First, we're going to cut out these. We're going to cut out 6 of them. We need six 24 3/4 inches. And this, it could just rest up against the Thinsulate like that. And then I think once that's done, then we can create the sides. All right, so let's get started.
I got a feeling and I'm gonna feel it out. It got me shaking up and moving around. From the birches to the blacktop, we want it all, we want it all. From the first sip to the last drop, we want it all, we want it all. Give me all of it. Don't stop, don't quit. No, not a little bit. Give me all of it. Give me all of it. I'm gonna turn it on and then I'll shut it down. I wanna stay in and I wanna go out. From the full moon to the fierce sun, we want it all, we want it all. I'm gonna pull through to the action. I want it all, I want it all. Give me all of it. Don't stop, don't quit.
Things are coming along really, really nicely with the aluminum frame for our single beds, our 2 single beds that are going on each side of the van, as you could see. So, the first piece that we built, if you guys remember, was this frame here, so the front of the bed. And then next, this is the top of the bed, and that is the second piece that we built. But then, although Gaetan fixed this directly to the wall, which we do want to do, we wanted to add a little bit of additional support. So we add these 2 tubes here, and this connects the piece on the side. So this angle piece and this tube here, and this tube here, and that angle piece, okay? And then over here on this side, also to add a little bit of additional support, 1 angle piece there, and 2 tubes. So not only will we be connecting this angle to the wall, we have support from the tubes, and we're going to be connecting this angle piece to the floor. And here too, we'll be connecting this down to the floor. We'll be drilling that down, screwing that down, and also we'll be screwing this piece down and that over there, and then again, that to the wood. So everything is going to be connected through multiple points, not only to the floor, but to the furring strips. So I'm quite happy with how things turned out. Now, the only thing that's missing is this angle piece, which is going to finish this job. And so what we did is we leveled all these bars out, and we measured from the top of here to the floor, and then from the top of here to the floor, and everything is level on these bars. And also we have the same measurements from here to the floor, which is 18 inches, and the top of this bar to the floor, which is 18 inches. And we've created some little markers here to know exactly where it sits. So it's just little tricks that we're using to make sure we know where everything goes. And I'm really pleased with our progress. So let's get back to work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the angle piece that we need to rivet in here.
I could actually say that one side is finished. The only thing that we're missing is attaching the bed to the floor and to the wall, and that's it. So it's not even urgent to do it now, so we're gonna wait on that, but the bed itself is finished. It only took us 4 days. I mean, we're happy. It's super light, right? One person could lift this easily, and it would be interesting to measure to see how much it weighs, because now that, you know, we did cut a lot of the aluminum that we didn't need, and we did put a lot of rivets. I say, it's hard to say how many rivets we put, but we...
100.
100?
We went through 2 boxes, 50 each.
Wow, yeah, so it was, but it's super sturdy. And
we have also this side of the driver's side bed. So this piece of furniture, so this side of the bed is done. This is Dory's bed, the 80-inch long bed. So the frame is 18 inches high. Front to back, it's about 25 inches, so the width of the bed. Yeah. It would have taken us just as long to figure out the 80-20 just because we, you know, first time using it, and also we didn't really have like a plan.
yeah, exactly.
Just like this, I mean, don't get me wrong, Gaetan gave us the pictures, which were very, very helpful. So,
And it was also helpful on chat. Like I went back and forth with you know, communications, and he did give me some pointers.
yeah.
But yeah, so now let's attack Menacite.
Yeah.
So we already cut a few pieces of frame from the side of the bed, but before we assemble everything, we want to put a few furring strips over here just to make sure, you know, everything is going to align properly. And once we have a few in place, we're going to start assembling the frame, which is already cut. We did cut a lot of pieces. We're just missing some drilling, and then we just got to assemble everything with the rivets. It's a new addition.
It's not new, we had it before. Now, if you guys can tell us where in the world we installed this in our RV, so send us an email at dorianmena@gmail.com. The first one to answer, we'll send you a branded tote bag and a bookmark that says Dorian Mena.
We're working on the frame, doing it on the Mena side.
Never mind that, I'm working on my buzz. Just kidding, it's kombucha. I make it at home.
Yeah, she makes an awesome kombucha.
Hey guys, so we're well into the second bed, my bed. What we did was we created this frame first, okay? So we put this angle and that angle, and then we measured to make sure that this was to 18 inches. So we created this frame first. And then we put this, we kind of held it up, put these crossbars, okay? And then we created these supports here. We wanted it to be a little bit stronger in the back. And then finally, we wedged these tubes here between these two angles, and then went ahead and riveted it underneath for it to be more secure. Now on this side, we're doing it a little bit different. We did create this first like we did with the other one, but instead of attaching right away the tubes to this angle here, going across, what we did was we cut these pieces. Now, it's a mirror image of the other side of the van, so we knew that the measurements were going to be the same. So we cut out these tubes, that angle, and those two tubes and the angle there. And the purpose of that is to support this when it's not actually connected to anything. And that way we could take our measurements and we can put our tubes across here more easily. And again, it's just for measuring, making sure everything is precisely placed and that all of our tubes and angles are the right size. So it's a little bit easier to do it now this way for us than how we originally did it, because it was very, very awkward to keep this and that angle up when there wasn't anything supporting it. Back to work.
Some quick notes on the aluminum structure. The combined weight of the bed is between 70 to 80 pounds. We purchased $600 worth of aluminum, and it took us 35 hours to finish the bed frames. And yeah, main side of the bed is almost done. We ran out of rivets yesterday, so we had to go to 2 different stores and we bought 2 more packs. So this should be finalized today. We also purchased another blade. I do hope it's the right one. These things, my God, $100. Insane. When you have the right tools, things just work perfectly. So somehow I was able to find one of these. My brother was kind enough to lend me my father's. And yeah, cuts are so easier and much straighter. So now we're working on the fridge cabinet unit that's going to be right there. But also it's going to serve as a countertop, space to cook, and also we're going to build a desk with the swivel seat, right? So that was the purpose of that. So yeah, yesterday we were missing a few rivets. We got them today. It's nice and secure. We're happy. Looks good. We worked today on creating more furring strips, so we put these down. We also took some time to figure it out, the furniture over here, and we cut the aluminum so it's ready to be assembled. That will be probably our next strip up here. And also we're gonna be playing with the solar rack. Right now it feels like we're touching different projects at the same time. We're a little bit, trying to figure it out as well, what's going to be our next step. And also, we don't want to do any mistakes, as in, okay, we're going to close something just to find out we have to reopen it. Also, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to get the batteries installed right away or not. We'll see, guys. Things are progressing every day. So that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down below. We'll try to answer them as fast as possible. For those who are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and don't forget to hit that bell so you're notified for the next video. Catch you guys on the next one.